Hi, I'm your host, Reena Suri, and welcome to Thriving Changes, a place where we share stories from brave and courageous people who have navigated challenges, crisis, or a change in their personal or professional life and gave it a new meaning. It's a platform where leaders open up about their fears, vulnerabilities, and the journey that led them to triumph. Our hope is to inspire and motivate others to take their first step towards thriving changes. What do you do when life takes away everything familiar? How do you start again after such profound loss? In this deeply moving conversation, Telese Hampton shares a story that few of us can imagine living through. The loss of her grandmother, mother, sister, and father, all within a short span of time. But this isn't just a story about grief. This is a story about what happens after, when the world goes quiet and you wonder how to keep going. With raw honesty and incredible grace, Talise opens up about the emotional upheaval that followed each loss. Despite being surrounded by love and support, she found herself struggling. She shares with us how she got through those challenging times and what led to finding happiness, purpose, and meaning in life again. Let's dive in. Good morning, Talise. How are you? Welcome to Thriving Changes. I'm so grateful for your time and your willingness to share your story on this platform and be so open about what you've gone through and transitioned. And I'm really looking forward to our conversation today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and so happy to share my story.
I normally ask my guests to introduce themselves because they can do justice to who they are rather than me really diving into that.
Absolutely. So I'm Telese Hampton. I am a mom of two daughters, ages 17 and 21. I am married, have been married for almost 22 years, and I'm here in Chicago or in Illinois. And I started my career out of school in human resources, worked at a company for almost 14, 15 years, and transitioned from HR into insurance. And I am also an author. I wrote my first book back in 2019 called Expedition to Success. And I also have my YouTube channel, which is called Conversations with Talise.
That sounds like quite a bit. So, a lot of elements to explore.
Yes,
So,
very keeps me busy.
good. That's a good thing. I know that you've recently been through some challenging times in your personal life. Could you just walk us through that journey?
Absolutely. So I'll start with losing my grandmother in 2011. And my grandmother, she was like the pillar of the family. You know, everyone always ended up at her house. However, she did live to see 89 years, which to me is amazing. But then you still have the pain of the loss and not being able to see her and talk to her. That was hard. That was one of the biggest passings that we've had in our family. But from that point, maybe 6 years later, I lost my mom. And that was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to deal with in my entire life. And it was sudden. To me and my sisters, it was sudden. She found out that she was sick with cancer the first week of February. And through hospital visits, doctor's office visits, her health just, it's so strange how she was doing okay. She was having some illness, but she passed on March 30th of 2017. And
Lord.
between that time, February, I want to say 7th is when she got diagnosed, and March 30th, you could just see her health just decline. And it was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to go through because me and my mom, we were not just mother and daughter, we were best friends. So she had a very special relationship with her three girls and her grandchildren. And it was unexpected. It was hard. And I didn't just lose my mom, I lost my best friend, and my daughters lost their grandmother. So it was rough. It was hard.
Yeah, and so
Mhm.
sudden. I mean, you're talking less than 2 months,
Yes.
right?
Less
And
than
from
2 months.
being diagnosed to passing away, coming to terms with that kind of loss and even of the illness, it's
Yeah.
hard to
It was
process.
hard. And then during that time, we're, going to doctor's appointments. She's in and out of the hospital. And yet we're getting, okay, we can help this. All we need to do is this. Or, okay, her numbers aren't getting to where they need to be, so we won't be able to do chemo. So during that time, it was just a roller coaster of, is she going to be okay? Is she not going to be okay? Is she going to be okay? And it was hard because I didn't know what to tell my girls. I didn't know what to think myself. Me and my sisters, it was rough on us. Thank God we had each other going
Right.
through because we are really close as well. So it was hard seeing our mom, this person who's so giving, so sweet, so happy, and just enjoying life, going from that stage to being in the hospital, in and out of the hospital. It was a very strange and sad period, to say the least. It kind of seemed like a bad dream. And this is how I describe it. It seemed like a bad dream that just went on and on and on and on and on that you couldn't wake up from. And it's like, is my mother actually gone? And going from speaking to her on a daily basis, sometimes twice a day, seeing her a couple times a week, to not being able to pick up the phone, to call her. If something's going on in my life, I can't discuss it with her. I can't tell you how many times in that, like the first month or so, that I went to grab my phone to call, and then I realized I can't call her. However, I will say that there were times that I did call her phone just to hear her voice. So I did leave her cell phone on for a while just because, I wanted to hear her voice, and I still have messages from her as well. But after her passing, it was hard. I know we mentioned robot earlier, and that's what I kind of felt like. After I went back to work, I think I was off for a couple weeks. And when I went back to work, that was very difficult because now you have to go through that conversation multiple times throughout the day, people asking, which it was so nice that people actually cared enough. But me in my head, I'm thinking, oh no, I got to talk about it again. But I felt like I would literally get up in the morning, get dressed, go to work, come home, take care of the kids, have dinner, with the family, my husband, go to bed, do it all over again. I felt emotionless. I felt sad. I don't think I got to a depression state, but the sadness was definitely there.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I was just in this routine doing the same thing over and over again.
It's hard. It's hard.
Hmm.
How long were you in that state?
Maybe about 6 months or so.
What shifts did you notice at that time?
Have conversations with my mom when she was not feeling well. And I would say to her, like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with if you're not here? And she would say to me, you have your husband, you have your daughters, you take care of them, and you live your life. So my mother was all about living the best life you could. And after months and months and months of that, I finally got to a place where I felt like I wanted to be happy. I was happy to go outside and see the sun shining. I was happy when the weather was nice and I could feel the sun on my face. And my oldest daughter, she auditioned for a play and she got the part to the play. And so we spent about a month rehearsing for that. And then she had her showcase. My youngest daughter, she was on a cheerleading team in our town. She did her dancing, her cheerleading. We were at practice almost every day. And then she got to go to compete in Florida. It was in Orlando. This was December of 2017. So this was within the same year. And being there in the audience watching my oldest daughter perform, it just made me thank God that I was there and alive and able to be there for her. When we took that trip to Florida for my youngest daughter, there's just something about Orlando, Florida. It's so magical. Disney, it's just, I love it. And I just remember it being December and just walking around. It was warm outside. And I was just grateful. I was thankful for life. And I missed my mom so much, but this gave me maybe hope. It gave me, I want to just be alive and enjoy everything I possibly can. And it made me want to really start taking care of myself as well. And I felt like we go through grief, but if I stay there too long, what is that doing to my spirit? So I started trying to do different things just to make myself feel better. And that was just little bitty tiny things, like just going for a walk, enjoying the weather, memories, and thinking about my mom and all the fun things we used to do. And those were the little bitty tiny things that helped me. I'll never forget one young lady at work who had also went through the passing of her mom years before. And we were having lunch together. And she told me, she said, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to feel better. She said, you're still going to miss your mother, but you're going to feel better. And when she told me that, I actually started looking for that day. And I think that helped me to get to that point where it was like, okay, I'm woke today, I'm up. What can I do today to make myself feel happy?
There's so many powerful things actually you've said in a couple that resonate and come to my mind. One is the gratitude element. Research has proven that when we are grateful, it brings it back, reciprocal, and we fill ourselves with that sense of fulfillment, happiness, contentment, and it's really powerful. And then you moved on to talk about the shift, the positive outlook to life, that even though you were still missing your mom, but you wanted to remember her in that same element that she lived her whole life, and bringing that into, I guess one can call it a mindset shift. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Came across a book. I actually heard that lady speak, and I'm forgetting her name, the author, but the name of the book I remember very clearly, and one can Google it and find it. And it was "And Life Comes Back."
Hmm.
A- And was like not in a capital, it was small, and she purposely did that because it was part of a sentence that it's continuity in life.
Yes.
And she had lost her husband at a young age with, I think, two or three kids. And then she talked about her grief story and how life came. That's what I'm hearing in you as well.
Yes. Life comes back and you can feel good again. You can be happy and you'll always have the memories of the people that go on before us. And they'll always be in our heart. And I think most importantly, they want us to be happy.
Yeah,
They want
absolutely.
us to be happy.
Yeah. But then it didn't stop there.
It did not stop there. No. So, about 6 years later, I lost my sister. I lost my sister, my oldest sister. She had breast cancer and she was diagnosed in her 20s. And it had come back 3 times. And this last time it went to other areas. And it's like, oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? So now my grandmother's gone, my mother is gone, and my oldest sister. Three really important women in my life, all gone, and not just gone, but due to cancer. So while my oldest sister is in hospice and she's preparing to transition, my middle sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was actually diagnosed, I want to say, it was within the same year that my oldest sister passed. So we have my oldest sister we're getting the doctor's reports from her health, and then my middle sister is diagnosed with breast cancer, and she's still here. She's in remission. She's doing wonderful. But yeah, this is
It's a lot to take.
it's a lot.
Right now, I'm a little confused in the sense which direction to now go, because this is losing your sister, dealing with that loss, but your other sister being diagnosed with the same disease, and the fear that comes with it, because you've just lost a sister to that same disease. To segregate, and it can all get so jumbled up inside your head, that what am I dealing with right now? So tell me, what was happening in you at that time?
Goodness, there was so much going on. There's the fear because, okay, my mother, my two sisters, my grandmother, is this really my life that my family is going through this? And there's the sadness. And then I have two daughters. I have a niece, my sister that passed. She has a daughter. She has a son and a daughter. And now here's the other thing to it. They were 6 years apart. My grandmother to my mother, 6 years. My mother to my sister, 6 years. Like, what in the world? It was really hard. It was a hard time, very difficult. And I'm thinking, okay, how do I get through this? How do I get through this? So when she was going through, I kept saying, I need to go for counseling. I need therapy. But I didn't do it because the thing that stopped me was fear, and that I'm gonna have to sit there and talk about it and bring up all types of feelings and emotions. And I was scared. I was scared to do that, but I know I needed to. So when my oldest sister was going through, I just had to I couldn't no longer talk to someone. So I went to therapy and I had an amazing therapist. And my first visit with her, my husband was taking me, and I was on my way to the appointment, and my middle sister called me and she told me that our sister had just went to hospice. And I'm like, it's amazing how God works, because I was going to get help to get tools that I needed to be able to help me deal with this situation. Knowing my sister was in hospice and my other sister was diagnosed with breast cancer, I had to have someone to talk to at that point, and someone in the profession of being able to help me. Because, yes, you could talk to friends, you could talk to family, and that's all good, and we need that. But I needed professional help. I needed professional advice and guidance, and I needed tools because I'm also dealing with anxiety. I was dealing with anxiety at this time a lot.
It's a lot to take. It's bound to cause anxiety. There's fear, there's a sense of loss, a sense of being alone. And it's a series. You lost your grandma, you lost your mom, you, your sister's almost at that stage. And now you have another sister who's entering that journey. I can't even imagine.
It's a lot. And it didn't stop there.
When did you start feeling better with counseling and that support?
I would have to say, so that the first visit, I told her everything. I put everything out there, and I told her, I'm leaving here, the appointment, and I'm going to see my sister in hospice. I mean, she helped me so much. I was able to go to the hospital and see my sister, and I was very sad, but I got through it. And I got through it. I know if I hadn't, of course, I had a lot of prayers. A lot of people were praying for us, but I don't know how things would have been if I hadn't seeked out therapy because I feel like she helped me deal with it differently than I would have known how to deal with it.
I've been through therapy and it's such an empowering process. We don't even realize it. And if we truly engage with it, like you, I try to stay away from it, scared, fear,
Mhm.
shame. I think we can do so much better when we have that support. And you rightly said, yeah, I think you touched on it initially, that yes, we do need friends and family and we can talk to them. And we need that as well. We need both. But we don't realize that the professional is trained to rewire our thinking, to help us cope. And it's a very gradual process and it's a very slow process. But I think what I'm really loving about this, what you're saying is that you were just honest with her, that you went and just downloaded it as it was and what you were feeling. And I think that's where the power lies, that when we show up authentically, if we are reaching out for help, because I know that there are times when we reach out for help and then we don't really be honest of what we are feeling and try to cover it up. I've done that. And I've also planned that, okay, how can I not tell that or avoid telling that? But it didn't serve me well. And it's only when I showed up authentically, that sense of what can go worse than this. And that's when she could really help me. And that's what I'm hearing in you.
Exactly. I agree 100%. And then, like with my sisters, we're going through the same thing. We're going through the same thing. So we can help each other. We can hug each other and talk to each other. But we've just lost our mom, you know? So it's like, how can I really help you when I'm going through the same thing you're going through? And then I would say, too, with therapy, sometimes we do have to search. You have to maybe go from therapist to therapist until you find the one that can really help you. So you may not go on that first appointment and that may not be the therapist for you. But I would definitely say give it a chance.
I
And
agree. I
yes,
totally agree.
exactly. You don't want to get up because once you find that right
It
one,
was, yeah,
it's life changing.
it's life changing.
It's
It was.
life changing.
I truly, I get that. I found myself again. And not just found, I think there's so many things that I didn't know about myself, and that evolution that came with it made me more. It's not just getting back to where you were or feeling better. I was better than what I was before. And that's empowering. That's powerful.
Yes, because then you can live your life and you can live your life to the fullest. Imagine walking around full of anxiety or having panic attacks on a daily basis and being able to go to a therapy session for however long it takes and being able to get past that. Life is like life starts over again and it feels good.
Depends on what you're dealing with. Like, how long were you in therapy?
I think it was maybe 6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it depends how much we need to peel back,
Hmm.
right? It's like an onion, one layer at a
Right.
time. It depends on how much baggage we are carrying,
Really is. It
right?
really is. And another thing I would say too is don't be embarrassed. You know, sometimes we're embarrassed, ashamed, and we don't want to talk about the reason why we may be going to therapy. But that's what they're there for, to help. They're
Yeah,
not looking at you like what happened. They're just there to help you get through what
exactly.
you're going through.
And we don't need to tell anybody else if you're uncomfortable. We can skip sharing it also with our friends and family, or share it with those safe people that I'm seeing someone. But Nobody needs to really know that you're seeing a therapist,
No,
right?
not at
It's a
all.
so moving past now, like it didn't stop there too.
Yes. So in March of 2024, I lost my dad. My dad passed away. It was a little different with my father because he was older. He was 91 when he passed. So he lived a really good, long, healthy life. He was in a living facility and he had a fall. And when he fell, he ended up in rehab and then nursing home. And he never recovered from that. We lost him in March of 2024. So now we got March 2020, March 2017,
Yeah, I have
March,
it.
yeah,
March 2017 for your mom,
mm,
March 10th for your sister, and March 5th for your dad,
yes,
right? My God. And that is really close. 23, you lost your sister, and then
a
24
year later.
a year
Yep.
later.
And
And
I will say that my sisters and I share different dads. So they have their dad and then I have mine. Yeah, but he was their stepdad.
for both the older sister, the both
Yeah,
of them.
both of them, they share a different father than I do.
So this is like your grief. Like
Yes.
it takes time to recover from grief. And on an average, people can take about 2 to 3 years to when that life comes back. What we were talking
Yes.
about, but here it's like you did have, I think, some gap between your grandma and your mom and your sister, but then it was sudden with your dad.
Yes.
And although I guess in some sense you were prepared that he was in assisted living, but it's never,
Hmm.
no matter how prepared we are, it's a loss when you go through it. It still impacts, and you really didn't get time to fully recover from one loss, and then you had another setback. Wow, talk about resilience. Uh,
My parents, they were divorced. So they weren't together, but they were best friends, I would say. My father was there when my mom transitioned. So they were still pretty close. And I do have to say though, when my dad passed, my family on my father's side, they showed me so much love and so much care. And it was just, it felt good to know there are people like really, really behind me. Because again, it was my dad, you know. So it was a little bit different, but it was my sister, her stepdad. She was there for me too. So it
right.
was, yeah, my family really stepped up for that.
I think the values that you've lived within your family, even though your mom went through a divorce with her first husband and she has two daughters, and then she was married and she had you, but you seem to have a very close relationship with your stepsisters.
So with my sisters, we've never even thought about like step. We're just blood sisters.
You never mentioned this in our initial call, and
Yeah, we're just like
we're
sisters.
sisters.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I shared that with a cousin of mine. It was, I could never call her like she's a cousin. We would think
Right.
that we were just sisters. And
Yes.
people would be surprised that, oh, she's not really your blood sister, but she's a cousin. I always thought that she was your sister.
That closeness, that bond.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
right,
special bond that you have.
right. And then
Hmm.
now you're mentioning that even your mom, I mean, your parents were also divorced, but they were still best friends.
Yeah.
And so it's about how navigating the definition of our relationship changed, but the value of that person was still there. That didn't shift. And it's so beautiful that yes, maybe they didn't see each other as a couple anymore and there were differences in that aspect,
Mhm.
but they still treated each other with love, with kindness, with respect, and that space that they needed to whatever it was. It shows those values are so important in our personal lives as well as in our professional lives. It's how you break up and how you navigate that journey, how we talk to each other during those hard times and during those hard conversations and still maintain a relationship post
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's very important. Very important.
It's sad that a marriage had to end. I'm not a big fan of that. Divorce is never a good thing, I would say.
Yeah,
It still hurts, but sometimes it's the right thing to do, but it needs a lot of discernment, um,
exactly.
right? But to carry on and to model that, I think wonderful parents to have modeled that to their children. It's such a blessing.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
How are you now? I guess over a year with your dad saying, how are you mentally now? Where are you?
I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I feel like I'm doing good compared to what I've been through. I'll say it like that. It was a lot of loss and not a lot of time, especially between my mom, my sister, and my father. But I will say that I remember a pastor saying that yes, we have to grieve, but you don't want to stay in that grief too long because of what it does to our mind and our body. It weighs in on us and it can cause other things like illnesses, sicknesses. And I think that's something that I've always thought about. And I heard this maybe 15 years ago, and it stayed with me before all the passing. I try to be really careful of my thoughts. I try to only think, good memories. I try to just think about the positive, think about the good things that we all have done. The fact that my dad lived to see 91 is amazing. My grandmother lived to see 89. My sister passed young. She was 56. That to me is really young. My mom was 71. That to me is young too. A lot of people are just
Yeah,
retiring,
it
and
makes
getting
sense.
their life started outside of work. I just try to think about the good times. I spend a lot of time with self care for myself and just trying to make sure that I'm okay mentally and physically and being here for my daughters and my husband. I owe a lot of that to my mother, I will say, because she always taught us to look at, well, for one, to be grateful and thankful for even the smallest thing. And that stuck with me as a kid all the way up until now. And it's like, I lost my mom, but I'm so grateful and thankful that she was my mom and that I had 39 years with her.
Yeah,
It's not enough,
it's
but I
not an
did have that. And she's forever always in my heart.
it lives on in you.
Yeah, and I feel that. I definitely feel that. Sometimes I can say things or have a reaction to something. I'm like, oh my goodness, that reminds me of my mother. And then my sister, the same thing. It's like, I miss her. I miss her laughter, her funness, her dancing. Her outlook on life was just unbelievable. For all she had gone through, you would never be able to tell that she was dealing with cancer. It was amazing. She lived her life, and that helps me to keep going too.
Bitcoin. So you
Yes,
had those models in your life, those role models, and good teachers. And throughout this conversation, that's what I'm hearing. Like resilience is a big buzzword these days. I mean, everybody's talking about. There's so much that goes into it. It's not just self care or maybe meditation, or those things help, but I'm hearing so many other things that you were connected with. It's the values that you were connected with, it's the relational bond that you were connected with that empowered you to look at life differently, even while dealing with so many losses in at such a short time. And
yes,
that supportive environment, it builds up and gets us through. You were also working during all this time, right? You had a full time job in human resources.
I did. Between human resources and insurance.
How was that environment?
Oh my goodness. Well, my grandmother passed. I had just been working there like a year. I had just started, and my manager was just so helpful and just so understanding and so supportive. When my mom passed, I had moved on to a different department within the same company. At that time, I was working in the insurance part of the company. So I had moved on from HR. And because she was in and out of the hospital, sometimes I would have to leave work, or people could just see like the sadness on my face. And I could remember my manager at the time just coming up to me and just giving me a hug and saying, "You're going to be okay. You're going to get through this." And it's just that type of support that it means so much. And so after she passed, I think I had like a week of bereavement time. Of course, that's not enough. And I called my manager and I said, I just can't bring myself to come in yet. And she said, "It's okay." She said, "Take as long as you need." And I just took like another maybe week and a half of vacation time. And when I got back, it was still the same support, the same caring. And because we do have to go to work when we go through things, just to know that you have people there that's in your corner, that have your back, that care about what you're going through, that makes it so much better. Because imagine that I had a manager that said, "Well, we need you back in the office," or didn't really, this is a job, it has to be done too. It just, the support added on to just helping me be able to heal. Knowing I had the support at home and when I went to work. And actually, I'm not sure if all companies have this, hope they do, but that's how I was able to go to get therapy was through my job, through our insurance, and it was covered at 100%.
Wow.
So
I don't think all companies have that.
it was only, I want to say it was 8 visits, but that's a lot.
That's a
8
lot.
visits is a lot, and it was
Yeah.
covered 100%. Of course, you could still continue to go through the therapy,
Yeah.
and it's
It
each
depends
year,
from
it starts over.
every policy is different.
Yes,
Every company will offer different, like some prioritize mental health, some don't.
right.
So it can vary from,
Yeah,
but the other element is that you do have sliding scale option as well. That if people can reach out to therapists who offer sliding scale options if you're
yes.
not,
If
if your
you don't
insurance
have
doesn't.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if you're
But
self-employed, there's so many options out there.
that culture that you're talking about at work, it is amazing to hear that support. Just somebody that your boss coming and giving you a hug, it's so just soothing. It means a lot to have that. It gave you that time to heal and not pressurize you to deliver whatever or meet deadlines. So important just to have that freedom to express and say that, okay, I'm not up to it today. Can I do it on another time?
Absolutely.
Right?
So
And
helpful.
that showed when you called. I don't feel like, I'm not ready yet to come in to work. Can I have some more time? And for you to have that freedom to say and express.
It's just because that was the environment of the company. Mental health is so
Right.
important there. Your mental health, your physical health, first and foremost. Because
Yeah.
if
I
you're
mean,
not,
in fact,
you can't do the job, right? So,
John Maxwell has said this, that we cannot, like, we are coaches, right? We talk, we have forward moving conversations, think about the future, we plan, we think of goals, deliver. But he said something very important, and it's always stayed with me. I can't remember the exact word, so it's not quote unquote, but we cannot move forward till the time we go and fix our previous journey, because it will invariably, those same patterns, those same mindset, that same thinking will affect our future goals. Right? So if we are coming in from a negative mindset, from setbacks, and if we keep telling ourselves, oh, it's not going to happen, the fact is that they will have a number of experiences that prove that yes, it hasn't worked for them. But when you're setting forward moving goals, we need that optimism, and that's in conflict with your programming from your previous experiences. We can't serve two masters.
exactly. Yes. Oh my goodness. Life can be tough. Things can come at us every single day, but it's so important to work on your mindset. And you have to do it daily. It's not a weekly, it's not
Daily
a
journey, yes,
monthly. You have to do it daily because
daily.
things happen on a daily basis.
If we don't have that mindset, then we're not fully, I guess, true to our work as well, because we need to be aligned with the company goals. They have certain goals. And then we'll have our personal aspirations as well, right? We want that next promotion. We want to expand our potential and maybe take on a different role in that, like you transition from HR to insurance.
Right.
And that can only happen if we have that mindset to navigate those journeys. And we need to be worthy of taking up that role, right? Others need to see that in us to offer that to us. I love your mindset, Tilly. The way you talk. I see that that's your being. It's the very fabric of your personality. And I think that's what has got you through so many challenges, setbacks, navigations, and still have a smile on your face.
Yeah. I mean, this world can be so great. Life can be so good, but it's all in, I think, what we put into it and how we live. We're going to have setbacks along the way. They
Everybody
are
has
going
that.
to
Yeah,
come, whether
right.
in your job, your personal,
Exactly.
losses. It's going
Everybody goes through their own journey,
life
uh,
happens, right?
right?
Yeah,
I do get the importance of going through with it also. And I guess everybody has their own journey and the time that they need.
right.
Uh, so it's different from person to person. I know for sure that we can never get past it if we don't go through with it. We need to grieve.
To get on the other side of it.
Exactly.
Yes.
A lot of times we try to numb it, we try to put it aside, don't address it, the denial process, all of it. But it doesn't help. It only becomes bigger and it'll take more time to heal.
Yes.
I guess my learning would be how each day can be a little better if we look at it through the lens of gratitude. What can I do just a little different to take care of myself? That it's okay to take care of myself, that it's going to be better. I don't know when that day is going to have come, but I'm working towards that.
Yes. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. Yeah. And it's important. You have to, or what's the alternative?
Yeah,
Gonna
that's a big one. You're right that if we stay too long in there, it does affect our health. I know that for sure. Aches and pains from minor things to extreme, like big stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So, how I know this is so true is when my grandmother passed, my mother, it hurt her so bad because they were best friends. And when she lost her mom, you could just see the change in her. And I don't know, I'll always wonder what that did because she was a different, after a while, she still was happy. She was so sweet and so loving, but it brought a change. Her losing her mom was hard on her. It was very hard, very difficult.
I've heard this at other places as well. Till the time I didn't take care of my mental health, it did take a toll on my body, on my physical health as well. And I'm grateful that it wasn't anything serious, but those minor nagging issues
Hmm.
which were deteriorating my quality of life every day, aches and pains and those little things, they can hinder the way you lead your life.
Absolutely. There is truth behind that broken heart syndrome where you lose someone and then the person that's that close to them. It usually, I think, is between spouses. One spouse goes through and then one spouse is passes away. And when they're older, sometimes the remaining spouse passes not long after. And so I did talk, that's something I wanted to mention to my therapist. Is this real? Is this true? And she said that it is because that connection is so strong. And if we don't do things that we're supposed to do, we end up brokenhearted. And it's a real thing. And that broken heart, it can wear you down if you let it. We go through, we grieve. It takes time. Like you said, we don't know how long it's going to take. But during that time, we still have to try to find a way to do something for ourselves that can
That is
help us during that time. Maybe even just a simple before you go to bed or when you wake up in the morning. This is what I'm thankful for. This is what I'm grateful for.
that's so
Just
important.
just that little thing can help start the mind changing a
Mind.
little bit.
That's what neuroplasticity is all about. You break it down one step at a time, the tiny thing, whatever you can do. It can be just a tiny movement that probably looks very insignificant. But if that's where you are, the important thing is that you did something, right? And you can build
Yes.
on it. So whatever it is to that can make you to feel better. And I guess, like you said, it didn't happen immediately.
I mean, it's been 8 years and I still miss my mom so much to this day. And it's still things that I wish I could tell her. I mean, my oldest daughter will be graduating from college. I wish she was here to experience that. My youngest daughter will be graduating from high school. I wish my mom was here to experience that. I know she knows.
Yeah,
She knows.
true. How do you look back at it all?
Oh my goodness. It's so odd because it seems like so long ago, but then it doesn't. And I thank God that I got through it because it was hard. The four losses, it could have broke me mentally, but I thank God that He got me through it and helped me do what I needed to do to get to where I am today. But four important people I lost in not a lot of time. And looking back on it, it's like, wow. I'm grateful for therapy. I'm grateful for my family, the support that I received. I'm grateful for my employer and the support that I
Mhm.
got from there
Yeah,
and friends because you just don't like without support, what do you do?
it is so important for us to have to get back to life. I think we need that. We need that support and
Mhm.
somebody, just
Yeah.
that care. It means a lot. So that's a big journey that you've done, and life looks different today. It's a cycle of life that we have to deal with. Would you have done anything differently?
I was thinking while we were talking, and I have no regrets. I have no regrets from with my mom because I always told her I loved her. We had amazing conversations. And my sister, we were close. She was my big sister. I used to go and stay with her when she was away at college when I was a little girl. And my dad, we didn't always have the best relationship, but we got closer over the years. My grandmother, just the sweetest she could be. So I don't think there's anything that I would do differently. Well, I'll take that back. I would have got therapy sooner. I probably would have done that.
It's just coming to my mind that it's a very normal pattern for people. It's not just you. It's me. It's probably everybody out there. I know the statistics for marital couple, if their marriage is going through distress, it takes probably 5 years for them to actually reach out and ask for help from a
It's
professional. But even in our normal life, like, we keep pushing, oh, we can handle it, we should be doing this, managing it ourselves. And it takes a long time for people to finally take that step to reach out and ask for help.
It does.
So
It does. Yeah, it took me 6 years. And I want to say, I don't remember, but I believe it was my husband that told me, you need to make that appointment. So I want to say he did, but it took me a long time.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
grateful that it did happen.
What's next for you? What you're looking for?
So I have decided to go into insurance a different route where I'll be doing independent life insurance and medical. And I have to say, one thing that got me into this was the passing of my mom because we didn't know that this was going to happen when it did, but she had everything in order. She had her life insurance. We didn't have to search or do anything out of the ordinary. She had everything together for us. And so this made me think, okay, there are so many people, so many families that don't have life insurance or don't understand it or don't realize what goes into it or how important it is. Mainly, for the ones we're leaving behind. So, this has gotten me to go into this as a new career to help families and individuals establish their life insurance and educate on how important it is to have it. So this is a new journey for me. I'm very excited about it. I got licensed in September last month.
Yeah,
So I'm excited. It's kind of a new career. I mean, it's still the same industry, but just a
in a
different part
different,
of it.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm excited to go and to do this and to be able to help people.
yeah. Right? It is such an important element of our life to have our finances and our insurances in place.
Yes.
It can make so much of a difference and the legacy that we leave behind for the people. My last question. What would you say to someone who's navigating loss or grief?
It's okay to go through it. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. But you do want to find a way to be able to go through it so you can get on the other side of it. You can do it. It's just going to take time. Nobody should ever put a time limit or time frame on anybody's grief. And it's okay to get help if you need it. It's okay to talk to somebody professionally. And just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There's sunshine on the other side. And the person that you lost, they want you to be happy and they will always be in your heart. And I believe I'm living proof that we can find ways to help us get to the other side of our grief.
Thank you. This has been such a wonderful, heartwarming conversation. And I'm so sorry for your loss. Right?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me and thank you for letting me share my story. This is the first time that I've done this and it feels good to be able to share with your audience. So I really appreciate it.
It was a lovely conversation. Thank you for your time. If you found our content valuable, please like, share, and subscribe and spread the word. I think the best compliment is being referred. That one action of yours can help us reach more and more people and fulfill the mission of thriving changes. Thank you for considering.